All right, guys. So I have been like inundated with messages about I want to be diamond and how do I get to diamond? And so many people are like, what do I post? What scripts do I send? I have people across the company message me, what is the same thing that you guys are sending out to everyone? And the reality is, it just doesn't work that way. We know that. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something. We get so hung up in the mechanics of this business. What do I say? What do I post? How often do I post? I am going to address all of those things, but I want to start this with the most important things, the things that I think are absolutely the most important, and that is your leadership mindset and your mindset overall. Because your mindset, this right here, is what will get you to diamond or keep you from getting there, or whatever it is, whatever your goals are in this business. So I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of you guys have heard my business story, but some of you guys are new. So I want to share just a little brief snippet of my business story, because I think it's important to share, because we come in and we see people's highlight reels. Like, everybody's coming in and seeing, I went from gold to diamond from March to June, which is crazy. Never happens, but that's what people see. So they don't see all the things that happened before I got here. All they see is Tiffany got to diamond really quickly, but in reality, there was a lot of things that happened before then. And the reason why I share my story is because so many of you guys are going to be in the same position that I was in, or you are in the same position that I was in, where you just feel stuck. So I joined June 30th of 2018. I had zero intentions at the time of ever being diamond. I didn't even really know what that meant. I just knew that literally Jeremy and I had talked about all of these goals that we had for our family. We talked about how we wanted to be able to travel with our kids, be the parents that could say yes, and buy a bigger home. And we were literally looking at our finances in tears because we had no idea how to make it happen. I had student loan debt, we had credit card debt, we had a mortgage, we had bills to pay, we had children, which is not cheap. And at the time I had taken a job making less money so that I could be with my kids more. I literally considered, should I get a summer job? I had taken a job to be home in the summers, but then I was like, maybe I should get a summer job. I mean, I remember as a waitress, like, I could pick up shifts all the time. You can't really pick up shifts as a mental health therapist. So when I first started with it, I started seeing all of these women sharing, and I sort of got this like, maybe there's something more. Maybe I could do something more with this. So then I went silver. I went senior silver in October of that year. And then I went gold in March, which at the time was pretty good. There were women that outranked me, but things have changed that make it easier to rank up than they were back then. And I got stuck at gold. I got stuck there forever. It felt like, for months. We had a lot of things going on in our personal life, a lot of stresses, and it was hard, guys. It was hard. I was working full time. We sold our house and moved during this time. My dad was sick and had surgery. I mean, just all of these things happened, and it made it really, really hard for me. To keep my mind where it needed to be. And I questioned, am I the right person for this? Maybe I'm always meant to be gold. Maybe I'm never going to go anywhere with this. All of those thoughts entered my mind. And I share that because you guys are going to have those thoughts at some point. If you haven't already, you're going to question, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ever going to be cut out for this. I don't know if I can do this. So I share it because it's normal, and I want you guys to know that experience. And when this year hit, I had no idea that I would be diamond this year, guys. No idea whatsoever. My journey was not a quick uphill battle. So I'm going to pose this question to you guys, and I want you guys to really think about it for a second. If your calendar were empty and your bank account were full, what would you do with your time? I'm going to say it again. If your calendar was empty and your bank account was full, what would you do with your time? And the reality is that's going to be your why on why you do this. For me, when I first started, My why was we were in debt, big time in debt, and we had goals for our family, financial goals, that we were not going to reach at the pace that we were going. If anything, we were digging ourselves further in the hole. My why has changed over time. This, you know, a lot of things have happened in my personal life. A lot of things have changed. My priorities have changed. And it's no accident that God put me in this position when he did and not earlier than he did. But I want you to really think about that. You guys have goals. I know you guys have goals, probably bigger goals than you could ever imagine. Maybe you're in that position that we were in, looking at your bank account saying, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to be able to not just make ends meet? How am I going to be able to do those extra things? And my kid wants to play sports and we can't afford it. Or, you know, we want to be able to travel and we can't afford it, or whatever it is. There are things and goals in our life that we have. And I believe in my heart that Plexus can provide that for you. I don't know if this is going to be a long-term career for you like it has become for me, but I do know that it can definitely help you reach whatever those goals are. But it all starts and ends up here. So I'm going to tell you guys a quote, and then I'm going to jump into some things that I want to talk with you guys about. For those of you that don't know me, my background is in mental health. So if I sound therapist-y and then get into the feelings and emotions, that's because that is my background. And I know how important it is. It literally will make or break you. So just a little background so you guys know. This is something I'm very passionate about. So the pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, and the leader adjusts their sails. So what that means is that the pessimist complains about the wind. So have you guys ever met those people? They complain about everything, everything. You will encounter those people in your journey. The optimist expects it to change. The optimist just thinks, okay, it's just going to get better on its own. But a leader adjusts their sails, which means that we always, as leaders, go with the flow of things. We don't let things get us down, and we just learn to adjust as we go along. I have adjusted a lot of things over the last 2 years in order to get where I'm at, and it has been so worth it. So I'm going to talk about overcoming some things. The first thing is overcoming fear. This is probably one of the number one things that people struggle with, and we can't always control it. Our thoughts, and this is where I'm gonna get a little therapist-y for a minute. We can't always control what thoughts come into our head. It just happens. Thoughts just come into our mind, and we can't always control them. But how we act on them is. And fear is not always in our control. Fear is a mechanism that our brain has to protect us from things. So when you're entering into something like this, it's new and it's scary, and you're being asked to get out of your comfort zone all the time, guys. Doing this right here, right now that I'm doing, speaking to you guys, is definitely not something that would have ever been comfortable for me. This is something that getting out of my comfort zone over time has led me to. Doing Facebook Lives, talking to people about Plexus at all, building friendships with people. I was kind of a closed off person before Plexus. I wasn't really prone to getting into friendships because friendships are sometimes hard and there's expectations on both ends. And so all of this has been outside of my comfort zone, and it's just been a slow process over 2 years of gradually doing little things that made me uncomfortable to help fight that fear. But the fear is something that we cannot control. Our brain just knows that we need to stay in our comfort zone. And so doing something that is scary, your brain doesn't know if that scary thing is a Facebook Live or a bear standing in front of you that you need to run away from. So that fear is always going to be there, and it's always going to be tempting you to run the other way. So the way that we help to make that fear go away is to focus on serving other people. And this is seriously, if you get nothing else from tonight, I want you guys to know, if you want to build an income with this business, a side income, a full-time income, whatever you might want to do with this, serving others is going to have to be at the top of your priority list. And it's easy to get into a self-serving mindset. I want to be this rank. I want to earn this. I want to do me, me, me. And I got into that self-serving mindset, and it was horrible. It really was an awful time in my business. My business wasn't growing because I wasn't focusing on other people. And that's what's beautiful about this business, is that we get the places that we get by helping rise other people up. So I can't imagine being in the position that I'm in without having the women on my team who are now able to stay at home with their kiddos, who are able to travel, who are able to pay the bills, who are able to take that stress off of their husband as being the primary breadwinner in their household. I cannot imagine being in this position without watching those women who have risen up with me and watching your all's leadership journeys. But that fear disappears when we can focus on serving other people. So when you feel that fear coming on, you need to say, okay, how can I do something to help someone else today? Whether it be someone in your home, someone in your life, or someone on your team, you need to be focused on serving other people. And fear comes through in our interactions. I have people ask me this question all the time. Do you really think that Plexus will last? Well, let me just tell you, first of all, Plexus is a completely debt-free company. It's not a new company by any means. It may seem new to this area. It's not a new company. They have always paid us extremely, extremely well. I know the founders. They are incredible guys. But beyond that, I don't have that fear in my heart because I can't, because fear will literally steal your joy from whatever you are in that moment. You know, you think ranking up is great, and then what happens when you rank up and you're like, but now I hope that I can keep it. You know, what if I don't keep it? And what if it goes away? And what if this income doesn't last? And that fear will come through in your business, and it will bleed through to other people in your life. It will bleed through to the people that are on your team or the people that you want to join you, because people pick up on you know, how you feel, those underlying things. Even if you're not saying it, people will still pick up on it. And I want to talk a little bit about this business in general. And I'll be real with you guys. Some people feel like, oh, we shouldn't really talk about, you know, the hard parts of this business. But I'm just going to be honest. I wish someone would have talked to me about the challenges that I would face, because sometimes we don't feel like we're normal. We feel like it's just us. We feel like I'm the only person who's struggling with this. And the reality is that's just not true. And this business has normal ebbs and flows. In case you guys haven't noticed, it's a little slower at the beginning of the month. That happens every single month. I always tell everyone it's God's gift to us to let us take a breather, recoup, get reorganized, follow up with everyone before we hit that momentum at the end of the month. There's also points in the year when we're busier than others. December tends to be a little bit of a slower month. People are saving for Christmas. The holidays are around. They're not as focused on health and wellness. Just like, you know, January, February, March, we tend to have a big boom in our business. There's normal ebbs and flows of business. So don't feel like I'm the only one. I've had several people message me, everything seems quiet over the 4th of July weekend. Yeah, it was, because it was the holiday weekend. Those things are totally normal. It's nothing to panic at. And I think it's because we know deep down in our hearts how huge this could be for ourselves and for our family, that at the slightest hint that something could go wrong, we panic and we get that fear of, oh my gosh, I love this so much, I don't want it to go away. So you need to understand that those ebbs and flows are totally, totally normal. And I want to talk about goal setting too. Fear will keep you from making big, audacious goals. Make them anyway. Worst comes to worst, you don't get it. I have been honest with you guys. Last year, I wanted Leaders Retreat really, really badly. I set that goal for myself, and I did not earn Leaders Retreat. So I had a lot of friends who did. I was devastated. I really was. But I say that to you guys to be honest. I don't want you guys to think that just because I'm Diamond, I've hit every goal I've ever set. That's not true at all. I did not earn Leaders Retreat. I did not earn it. And I am sitting here as a Diamond 1 year later. It was one of the best things that ever happened for me, because my mindset was not in the right place. I wasn't really helping my team achieve their goals. I just almost expected my team just to earn it for me, which is really shameful to admit. And at the time I would have never admitted it. But I fell into that me trap. And so be bold. Don't be afraid to set those big goals for yourself, because I promise you, even if you did not earn them, you will have learned so much along the way. And not reaching your goals does not determine your destiny at all, because let's be honest, like I said, 1 year later I was diamond from not earning Leaders Retreat. It does not identify or define who you are. And I want to talk about overcoming negativity. So this is something that has been new for me as a leader to kind of walk through with you guys. I've dealt with negativity myself, but helping you guys walk through it. And I will say that I'm extremely impressed with so many of you and how you've dealt with negativity. It's really hard when you're doing something new and not everyone is supportive, or people say negative things, or things don't go our way. So one thing I want to talk about is, what do we do when someone wants their money back or someone says they don't love their products? I remember so vividly the first time that someone ever told me they didn't like the products. I was devastated, because I was just like so excited. I love these products and I want to change the world. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't think they really worked for me. I was completely devastated. And the mistake that I made, that I don't want you guys to make, is I kind of ran from it. I was like, okay, here's the customer service number. Good luck, get your money back. I really, really wish that I would have been like, please talk to me about this. Let's work through it. Helping people troubleshoot is one of the greatest things that you'll ever do in this business. And it makes your heart sink. If you guys have never gone through that, I'm just telling you, it's okay. It's normal. It happens to every single person. But helping them troubleshoot, not running away from that, and just saying, let's talk about it. And that's where building relationships with people is so important. Oh, and then they may say something like, well, the Slim kind of gave me heartburn. And you're like, well, listen, let's just work through this. Why don't you try tomorrow adding a little bit more water to it, eating something before you drink it, whatever. There's a whole host of different things we can help people do. And myself or your upline can help you troubleshoot with products. I've had people say, thank you for not giving up on me, because guys, let's be honest. A lot of people come to you hopeless, broke, and over it. You are their last hope for doing anything. And they don't really have any expectation that it is in fact going to work. They already come with that preconceived notion of, I've tried things, I'm not good enough, and I really don't think this is going to help me. And so at the least little sign of trouble, sometimes people will say, okay, this is exactly what I thought. It's not going to work for me. And I've had people say, thank you for not giving up on me. Not getting upset with people, being calm when you talk with people, and just understanding that it's normal and it's part of the process. I also want to talk about negativity that you see on Facebook. I could probably write a book on the stuff that I've heard about Plexus that is absolutely insanity, guys. Like saying their arms went numb and saying that it's banned in Australia. I have read some of the, the FDA is shutting Plexus down, guys. People can write whatever they want to write. I laugh about it now because it absolutely cracks me up. But you're gonna see it. It's straight up jealousy. It is almost always just straight up jealousy or a misunderstanding of what we do. So I would really advise not to even engage with people. I love the unfollow button on Facebook. It is absolutely like my favorite button. If you are not familiar with the unfollow button, I would recommend that you get familiar with it, because it is legitimately like my best friend. If I see people posting negative things, I'll either hide the post or click unfollow, because I control my own peace of mind. And I am not going to allow other people to put negative thoughts in my head about what has been one of the absolute greatest blessings, not only for me, but my entire family. So just unfollow, don't engage people, don't argue with people. Let's be real, you guys are building massive businesses. You guys don't have time for that. Nobody has time for that. And then I'm going to talk about something, and I'm going to tell you this as someone who has been, I love the position that I'm in, because I talk with all of you guys, all different legs of my team, and that is ambassadors joining someone else's team. And I know that's kind of a sore spot, but I just want to tackle it head on and talk about it. And let me just tell you this. It has happened to everyone. everyone, all legs of my team, both ways. It has happened to me. I have had people join, people that are not just people below me like you guys. I've had people join complete other teams before that have talked to me, and I've invested time and samples and things into them. In my experience, most of the time, the person that ends up joining that other person is not honest about the fact that they were already talking to someone else. I cannot tell you why someone joins one person over another. I do not know. I do not have a clue. I'm sure there's varying reasons for it. They don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Somebody offered them a special deal. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning of it is, but I will tell you guys, you cannot dwell on it. You have to let it go, and you have to move on, because that kind of stuff will eat at you, and it's so not worth it. You are each building very individual businesses. Your people that were meant for you are going to join you. I promise you. And I will tell you, I'm at the point where I love finding people that I connect with to build businesses with, because I'm going to be real with you guys. My business builders, my team, I talk with all day long, all the time. They are people that I have very close relationships with. And so I'm really grateful when I have those people that I connect really, really well with. And so you guys have to know that too. You guys have to know that whoever is joining you and you're building those relationships with is meant to be with you. I really, really firmly believe that. But do not let yourself get frustrated. Do not let yourself walk away from it. You just got to take some deep breaths and acknowledge that it sucks and it's not fair. And then you have to move on. Because like I said, we are one team. And I think that's been one of the most beautiful things. And I cannot tell you, and I think you guys need to know this. I have gotten messages from people who are on our team page or in our team chat who have said, I'm not going to lie, I don't have a clue if these products are going to work for me or not. Don't have a clue what's going on with them, but I just love being a part of this team. And guys, not all teams are like that. We have something very, very special here. And I hope that you guys know that. The supportive environment that we have is very, very special and precious. And so don't let those sorts of things of ambassadors joining someone else damage the relationship that we have together as a team. Let's see. I also want to talk about something. I'm going to introduce something to you guys tonight that I'm super, super excited about. I will be honest, in this journey that I've had, some of the best relationships I've had are with my sidelines. So I'm going to get a little into lingo for a second. The person that you joined under is your direct upline, and then anyone above them is your upline. So pretty much everybody in this group, I'm your upline. And then you have your downline. Those are the people that join under you. And then you have your sidelines. Your sidelines are people that are maybe under the same Plexus team in general, but they're not above you and they're not below you. So those relationships with sidelines have been some of the most precious relationships that I have built. I'll just be honest with you guys, like going to Vegas and things, it's been amazing to get to meet these women that I have formed relationships with, that I adore, that I simply met through Plexus because they've been so, so supportive. So what we have decided, I kind of got with some of our leaders, and what we decided to do is chats by rank. So we're going to start a chat group for our senior silvers, our golds, our senior golds, and then our rubies. I think that it's going to be super helpful for you guys to be in a similar place in your business, because let's be honest, the senior rubies are at a total different place than what the senior silvers are in their business. It's just you're dealing with different issues. I think that it's going to be super powerful for you guys to bounce ideas off of each other, to build relationships with each other, kind of cheer each other on. And then if you rank up, you get to move up to the next one. So I think it's going to be really fun. And that's something that we're going to be launching probably tomorrow. So if you guys see your names in chats, that's what that is. And then learn to rest, not to quit. So if you guys have to build good boundaries around your time. It's really easy to be on your phone 24/7. I am guilty of this. This is something that I try to work on. I've told you guys, like, hey, I'm going to be going out to dinner. I may not respond. Set boundaries around your time and learn to take intentional breaks, but don't run from things. So what that means is, like, set time, like dinner time, your phone goes up, or whatever time works for you. Set boundaries around your time so that your family doesn't get burned out and so that you don't get burned out. So that when you're resting away from your phone, you're intentional, but also when you're working, you're intentional too, in responding to messages. I'll just tell you, even as a diamond, there are days that it seems like when I wake up, I get negative messages all day long. I don't know why, just the theme of the day. We're not immune to that, just like you're not. You may be like, oh my goodness, will somebody please tell me something positive? So when you have days like that, set your phone aside, take some deep breaths, just take a break for a minute. If you see a message and you feel like you just need to take a minute to wait to respond, that's okay too. Sometimes I don't respond right away because I need to think. I don't want to respond in emotions. I love voice clips for that reason, so people can hear my heart and they don't take what I'm saying as negativity or something harsh. But learn to kind of rest, step away if you need to for a minute, but just learn not to quit. And then I'm going to talk about comparison. Comparison is probably one of the hardest things that I have gone through in my business, because I was always too busy looking at, well, she joined after me and she's ranked above me, or those sorts of things. That is hard. And I am telling you guys, comparison will eat at you. It will eat at who you are. It will eat at your joy, and it will steal all of your great moments. Because I promise you, your time is your own time. I dealt with this a lot especially back in December. I feel like everything kind of came to a head with my business where I had a horrible attitude. My husband called me out on it. Praise Jesus for him. He's wonderful. But he called me out on my stinky attitude because I was too worried about, well, oh my gosh, if I see her name one more time, I'm just over it. And she's ranked up and I didn't. And, well, of course she ranked up really quickly because she has all this influence and she has a big social media following and I don't. So she's just going to be diamond and I'm not. I mean, these were literally the actual thoughts in my head. And what's funny about it is I had no idea at the time what would be waiting for me right around the corner. So if I would have quit then, oh my heavens, look what I would have missed out on, all over silly comparison. And the reality of it is, it doesn't matter if it takes you 2 years to reach your goals, 5 years to reach your goals, or whatever. It's the blessings don't change. And there's a little saying, and I really like it, that, God's not going to deliver your mail to someone else's house. Your blessings and your purpose in this business are going to come through no matter what happens, but you have to stay committed to the process. And in my experience, if you are having a pause in your business, you're not growing or ranking up like you feel like you should be, that means that you need to take that time for growth. You need to dive into trainings, doing coaching calls, whatever you need to do. You're stuck for some reason in your business. That was me. I needed to learn things. I needed to get my mindset right before I would be ready for the growth that we have had. And I think that's true for everyone's business. So do not let comparison eat at you. Acknowledge that it stinks if someone else is doing better, but in the end, it does not matter. Your blessings are your blessings and nothing's going to change that. Let me see. I've got a few more things. I'm not going to keep you guys a really long time. And the last thing that I really wanted to talk with you guys, and then I'm going to take some questions if you guys have some questions. Building relationships with the people that join you as a leader is one of the most profound things that you will ever do. That is the one thing I love about this business, honestly, is the leadership role that you get put into. And you're a leader if you have one person on your team, because this is the reality. People go through really hard things and you never know where someone's at in their life at that moment. They may be totally broke and not telling people. I mean, people don't realize the financial struggles that we had. I mean, we were paying our bills, but that was pretty much it. People may be going through issues with their kids, with their husband, their marriage. They may have family issues. For us, my dad was really sick. All of these things, these issues that people have, when they come to you, people see it as buying products. They're just buying products from you. But the reality of it is so much more than that if you will allow it to be more than that. I've been the first person that someone has called when they are in the midst of one of the worst times in their life, and I simply met them through Plexus. I have been the person that someone has said, no one else believed in me except for you. I have been the person that was their only cheerleader when they really needed it. And I'm not saying this to brag on myself. I'm saying this because each and every single one of you guys are in that same position, that you're going to be someone's only cheerleader. You're going to be the person that cheers them on when no one else is. You're going to be the person that believes in them when no one else does. And so along with that, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your own abilities to achieve things. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, I see Tara's message. Yeah, it is really frustrating when that happens, when you've spent a lot of time investing in someone. It's really hard. And I don't think that people always understand what comes with this. They just see it as buying products. And it is more than that, and it should be more than that, that we really coach people along the way. Does anybody else have any questions? You can either put them in the chat or you can just speak up. I don't think I have to unmute you guys. I think you can raise your hand too. I think you guys are all muted. All right, so what I'm gonna do next time, I kind of try to keep this a little bit short. I am going to make some recommendations really quickly. If you guys are not familiar with personal growth, go ahead and start working on that. So what personal growth looks like is reading books, watching trainings, learning all that you can. I literally remember when I first joined Plexus, I would be in bed with my newborn up in the middle of the night feeding him, watching trainings on YouTube because I didn't know what I didn't know. So I wanted to learn everything that I could learn. So I am going to make some recommendations. I see your question, Brittany. I'll answer it just a second. I'm going to tell you guys my personal favorite people to seek out for trainings. You guys are welcome to expand and learn. I'm not saying these are the only people, but these are the people that have been most helpful. Bob Heilig is amazing. He is not specific to Plexus, but he is a network marketing trainer overall. He spoke at our convention last year. He has podcasts. He has YouTube videos, all free. They're amazing. You will learn so much from him. Abby Kappa has videos and podcasts. She was the youngest diamond ever in our company at 23 years old, which we now have. Our youngest jewel ever is 19 years old, and she's from Kentucky. Those of you that don't know, her name is Lauren Thomas. A lot of you guys are actually friends with her. Side note, Brooke Hemingway. Brooke Hemingway has a Mastermind to Gold series. Mastermind to Gold series on YouTube. It is 4 parts. They are about an hour long. That will be the absolute best investment you ever make in your business, ever. I did that series back in the fall. It changed my business. It changed everything. Brooke Hemingway, for those of you guys that don't know, she got to the top as a diamond. When we get to the top of the company as a diamond, if we get 6,000 credits, or 6,000 credits, 6,000 points, then you get to join under yourself and do it again. So I don't know if you guys knew, our compensation plan can be worked twice. It's amazing. But yeah, so you get to go to the top of the company, go to the top of the company again. She did that. And then she also got her husband to diamond. So they are a 3 diamond household. She is a former nurse. He is an ER doctor. They are fantastic, and she knows what she's talking about. Her videos are amazing. Emily Gibson is on her team, and Emily Gibson is great too. And then John Maxwell books. John Maxwell books are my absolute favorite. I have an app called Scribd. I always called it Scribed, but then I saw a commercial and they called it Scribd, so I guess I should call it Scribd. But basically, there's unlimited books for like $8 a month, and I love it. Love it. It is great. And there are tons of audiobooks and books on there that I would have probably spent hundreds of dollars on books, but instead I spend like $8 a month to get unlimited books. And my husband and I share an account, so we both read the same books or use the same account and can read the same books. Okay, so Brittany's question was, I'm in nursing school. Do you know of anyone who has experience from trying to schedule school in Plexus? So I know we have had so many people who have been in school. For me personally, up until March of this year, I always worked full time with my 2 kiddos. You have to get really good at learning to multitask. And this is where your dedication comes in. This is why I asked you guys that question initially of, if you had an empty calendar and a full bank account, what would you do with your time? You have to have a why that keeps you going. So for me, I learned to multitask. I would listen to podcasts while I was getting ready in the bathroom in the mornings and while I was driving to work. I would listen to things on my lunch break, respond to messages on my lunch break. My time to really work my business was after my kids were in bed at night. I would dedicate a couple of hours every night to working my business. So it can be worked in. It is so worth it. You know, and this is one thing I'll say with you guys too. I'm just going to be honest. There's a million reasons at any given point that someone can say they can't do this. It's just a matter of priorities. And like I said, sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's stressful and sometimes it's not, the most pleasant thing, but oh my gosh, it's been so worth it. I mean, for me, now I'm able to be home with my kiddos all the time. So sacrificing that time when they would go to bed at night was so worth it, because now I get to spend all my time with them and still make an amazing income that's life-changing. Not just now, but forever. My business can literally be left to my children in my will, and they can continue earning income from this business even when I'm not on this earth anymore. It's incredible. So it can be done. You just have to get good at multitasking. And I would encourage you, I don't know what your family situation is, but I would encourage you to get your family involved. This is one thing that I hear people say. Yeah, see, she's like, listen, I did this all the time. I would listen to podcasts while I was cooking dinner or whatever. Like you can find little nooks and crannies of your life, but get your family involved. My husband has been very involved from day one. That they know that like I was working my business. So sometimes there's this negative, like you're on your phone all the time. I know you guys have heard that. It's a little different for us because we work our business from our phone, which is amazing because I can work my business sitting by the pool or wherever. But sometimes people, they don't understand what we're doing. So my kiddos, my 5-year-old, he can tell you all about Plexus. He can tell you all about my team. He can tell you all about what I'm doing on my phone. My husband is the same way. He knows, like, look, I need this time. I need a good solid hour to work my business if you can work with me on that. So getting your family involved, my in-laws, my parents, they know, they babysit sometimes. Everybody's involved and they know what I'm doing and how important this is. Any other questions? I like answering your guys' questions because I can't see anyone. All I see is iPhone. That's all it says on my screen. So I'm just talking to myself, I feel like. Any other questions? And I will tell you guys this, and I know people say, well, of course you say it's worth it. You're a diamond in the company. But I was not diamond until this past month. I spent a lot of time working this business that I was like, I don't even have a clue if I'm on the right track with this. You are always planting seeds. From the day that you join, you are planting seeds. From everything you do, the posts that you make, the messages you send, the relationships that you build, and you will harvest that at some point. Everybody asks me what happened that my team got in such massive momentum. Most of you guys are not new to me. It was, me planting seeds over years and years of me, months of me doing this, that I finally just kind of reaped that harvest. So this is a business that you may not always see immediate reward. You may not always sign that person the first time you talk to them, or you may not sign someone off that post that you make, but people are watching. So instead of thinking of adding people and ranking up as like the actual proof that you're doing work, just think about the actual work that you're doing and know that you are doing it for a good purpose. What's a good goal for someone new like me to set? So honestly, I would say when you are new, your goal should be to try to learn as much as you can. I think having rank goals are good, but you need to have goals outside of that rank. So I think a lot of goals to set are action goals for yourself. So instead of saying, I'm going to sign 4 people this week, say, I'm going to do 2 Facebook Lives this week. Find something that's a little out of your comfort zone and something that you can feel accomplished about. Say, I'm going to talk to 5 people that I have never talked to before. So, you know, building relationships with people is huge. It's so crucial in this business. I am just thundered really loud here. I am in the helping profession. So it was really hard for me to imagine building relationships with people on social media outside of my normal workday because I'm like, I just don't have time for this. So I had to work on building a lot of relationships and really growing in friendships. And it's been great. Some friendships I've built have not resulted in them joining Plexus, but a lot of them have. And it's been some of the best business relationships that I've had. So focus on goals that you can really check off. What is outside of your comfort zone? If I say, what is that thing you need to do right now that's eating at you, you probably know what it is. In my entire career with Plexus, there's always been that thing that in the back of my mind, I knew I needed to be doing. Like, oh, I know I need to message that person and reach out to them. Or, oh, I know I need to do that Facebook Live that keeps popping up in my mind. Whatever keeps coming in your mind is probably what you need to do. So just focus on learning new things and doing something every day to get yourself slightly out of your comfort zone. Oh yeah, and you know, Brittany talked about losing someone. It's really, really hard. I have signed a lot of people that are not sitting here with me on my team today because life happens. They got scared or just something happened in their life circumstances. Some of you guys have left and come back. And so it's really, really hard when we have someone that we lose on our team. But I would strongly encourage you guys always maintain a friendship with someone, always. So the people that have come and gone, you guys know this. I've never changed my relationship with you guys because I don't want people to, that's how people feel used. Like, well, if you're not doing this business, then I don't want anything to do with you. We are a people business first. And I really believe we're a relationship business first. So if you have someone that leaves your team, then keep building that relationship with them. Keep interacting with them. Keep talking about how cute their kid is or whatever, unless they just delete and block you and that's on them. But keep building relationships. A lot of my team, and even like true rock stars on my team, have left and come back because we all have our own timing. And that's one thing too. Don't take things personal, guys. People have a lot going on in their life. And 9 times out of 10, when people have ghosted me, quit, said they didn't like the products, 9 times out of 10, it's been something going on in their own life. And at some point they've come back to me and said, you know what? Circumstances have changed, life has changed, things have happened, and I'm serious about this now. So always maintain friendships with people, always maintain relationships, because you never know when that person would come back, because we don't ever want someone to have a poor taste in their mouth of, well, she just used me for the business. And in reality, we're trying to protect ourselves too, because it hurts. It hurts when people leave. But just continue those relationships with people, and I promise you a lot of times they will come back. And don't take it personally. I have had so many people quit in the time that I have been here. I really have. And a lot of them, it breaks my heart. They probably could have been Jewel by now if they would have stuck with it at the time that they joined. But it happens. Not everyone's going to stay. Even Brooke Hemingway, if you do her Mastermind to Gold series, she's going to talk about how she has a lot of people in her back office that didn't stick with it, because some people are not going to. Not everyone's going to stick with it. It's just going to happen, and that's okay if people don't stick with it. But you just continue to do you. People will be inspired by your perseverance. They will be inspired by how passionate you are about these products, and they will be inspired by the fact that you have been probably one of the few people in their life that hasn't quit on them. So yeah, Facebook Lives are hard. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you all this too, because I am honest to a fault sometimes. Sometimes when my early Facebook posts and Facebook Lives come around on my memories, I cringe. Oh my goodness, I cringe because I had no idea what I was doing. None. But I did it. And now look what's happened. I mean, you know, it all worked out. So don't be afraid to not do it very well, because that's how we grow and learn and get better. I have people tell me all the time, I just can't explain it like you. Guys, first of all, I am not infallible. I make mistakes. And second of all, if you only had read some of my early messages, some of my early posts, my early Facebook Lives, oh heavens, it's so bad, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I learned and I grew, and it's just something that you have to learn. This is a learn as you go business. And honestly, I'm going to be real. If Plexus fell off the face of the earth right now, just the level of growth that I've had and the things that I have learned has been worth every minute of it, because I've grown so much as a person. My confidence level is so much better. I have a huge community of people that I love so dearly. But I've had to do it wrong a lot in order to learn how to do it right. And that'll be you guys too. All right. Anybody else have any questions before I hop off here? If you guys just now hopped on, I'm recording this, so I will upload it so you guys can go back and watch it, okay? All right, so Leaders Retreat strategy session Zoom is going to be at 9:15 our time. I've put the link, I've put the Zoom ID up on the team page and I've put it in our chats. I strongly would encourage you to do it. Like, strongly encourage you to do it. You're not going to be put on the spot. It's not going to be anything scary. It's just literally going to be a strategy session to help you make a plan for Leaders Retreat, because I promise you Leaders Retreat is worth it. I cannot tell you guys enough. We are all going for it. We are all in the same boat, and it's going to be amazing. Hopefully things are okay by January. But if not, Plexus always does cash options for us if something happens. But it's so worth it. I want to go on this trip, and I want like all of you guys to be going on this trip too. All right, guys.